What's up guys, today we're going to show you 7 things that you can do to get ahead of 99% of men in 2023. Alright, so if you're watching this video, it's because you want to improve, right? That's probably why you're on this channel, and specifically that's why you clicked on this, is because, hey, I want to level up. I don't want 23 to be like 2022. I want to actually improve my results in life, right? The question is, how do you get there? I think there's a misconception that people have. They think it's maybe going to be like this one big thing that they do, and it's going to make a big difference, right? But typically, self-improvement doesn't work that way. It's actually a combination of small, boring things that you do over and over and over again that culminate in a big difference. There's a great book on this called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It basically says that your results in life are literally just a combination of small habits you develop along the way, right? And that's going to be what we're going to preach in this message, is just making some changes when it comes to the things you do daily. They're going to amount to a big difference by 2024. So the first thing that you need to do is very clearly write out your goals, right? That is important, because if you don't have your goals written out, they're kind of loosey-goosey, right? You're not going to really move towards them in as fast of a direction, right? So write out your goals. And typically what I do is I write my long-term goals, like my yearly goal, I do my monthly goal, and then I do my daily goals. So every day I have a list of things that I'm trying to get done. We can call it tasks, goals, basically same thing, but these are things I'm hoping to achieve that day, right? It's very important that you do that, have everything written out so it's crystal clear, so it's in the back of your mind, and it's also somewhere where you can literally periodically go back and read to make sure you're moving in the right direction, right? So if you're not really sure what your goals are, really sit down, take maybe a half an hour, and really think of where do you want to be by 2024, and feel free to be very creative with it. If you want to be, having a threesome with 2 models, write that down. Like write down even very ambitious goals and then figure out ways to small chunk it, right? So if my goal was to get super jacked like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the first thing that I would do is like, okay, well, I need to start going to the gym, this many times. I need to eat this many calories. I need to do this, and this, and that, right? So whatever your big picture goal is, try to find a way to small chunk it into practical, actionable things that you can do. And also, it's very important that you set up a system of rewards and punishments for yourself. We're always moving towards pleasure and trying to avoid pain, right? And you can actually incentivize yourself. So for example, for myself, if I accomplish all the goals that day, reward I might do is I'll watch an episode of Game of Thrones, right? Because I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. And a punishment that you could do is like, hey, if you don't do this, you might force yourself to run 2 miles or something like that. If you skip the gym, then before you go to bed, you have to run 2 miles. If you just have these basic rewards and penalties for yourself, that's really going to motivate you not to slack off and to make sure you get your daily goals done. Number 2, develop a growth mindset, right? So this is something a lot of guys are not doing. Like they just think that like, oh, I know it all, I already have all information, and maybe they have a growth mindset when it comes to certain things, but when the things that they're good at, their career or whatever, they just think they know it all. But in reality, you never know it all, and you're always either moving in a positive direction or a negative direction. So you want to always make sure you're moving upwards, right? And that is by having a growth mindset. So whatever it is that you do, there's chances are there's someone who does it better than you. And what you want to do is seek them out, ask them for feedback. I do this with everything. With fitness, I have several people who know a lot more about the gym than me that I get feedback on periodically on my training protocol. With YouTube, I know YouTubers who are a lot more successful than me that will ask for feedback based on the direction of my channel. Literally, you can do this with everything, right? So, and you'd be surprised how willing a lot of people are just to give you advice, right? Because you ask them politely. A lot of people really enjoy sharing and teaching. So again, don't be scared to go out there and ask for feedback and swallow your ego. Number 3, the gym, right? I think that the vast majority of people watching this channel want to be more successful with women, and part of being more successful with women is improving your sexual market value. And one of the biggest things you can do to improve your sexual market value is get in better shape. So part of going to the gym is literally involves writing out your calories. This is very important. I think people often skip this, but really make sure you're tracking your calories daily, whether you're trying to put on muscle or you lose weight. Now, I think also people overestimate how often you have to go to the gym. People think like, oh, I don't want to be in the gym for 2 hours every day. I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week for 1 hour. That is more than enough for you to put on muscle when it is combined with a good diet and enough sleep, enough recovery. That is it. Again, you don't have to be in the gym all the time. You just have to be in the gym enough times, which again is several times a week, and that is going to be more than enough. So again, very important to track your calories in combination with being very consistent with your gym workout. Again, I've been consistently going to the gym for 4 years. That is why I put on muscle, not because I'm doing some crazy workout that no one else can do. Number 5, NoFap. This is something that constantly people obsess about on the internet, and I've kind of been late to the NoFap bandwagon, but I do think that if I was starting out in life, I was kind of like, whatever, I was just post-college, that is probably one of the first things I will do. Because again, fapping basically takes away your main incentive to pull a chick, right? So you're at a bar, right, and you're trying to bring a girl home. If in the back of your mind you know that you can go home and jerk off, you're gonna have less motivation. However, if you know the only way you're gonna bust a nut is if you bring a chick back to your place, then you're gonna try much, much harder. You're gonna put up with a lot more shit, and you're just gonna be way more persistent, right? So I think it's a very good habit to have. And the second thing, I just think in general, watching porn, kind of scrambles your dopamine system and fucks with your brain. Now, if you're doing it like once a month or maybe even once a week, I think that's gonna be fine. I don't think there's gonna be any massive, detrimental effects. But most guys are not doing it once a week. They're doing it 2 or 3 times a day, especially with OnlyFans and all this shit. Dudes are literally spending half their day just fucking watching naked girls on the internet, and that is definitely not good for your brain. Number 6, cut out the BS. So people often say, yeah, I want to get jacked, but I don't have the time, or I want to read books, but I don't have the time. But in reality, everyone has the same amount of time. It's just those people are choosing to waste a significant part of their day on a bunch of bullshit. Do a mental inventory and think about how much time do you spend watching TV, surfing through Instagram, watching TikTok videos. Chances are it's a good amount of time. Me personally, I don't even own a TV because again, watching TV is a massive waste of time. Right? When I used to have a TV, I would just, sometimes I would be bored or I would be a little tired, just turn on TV and wind up watching it for hours. You might go into it with just thinking, I'm gonna watch TV for 5 minutes, but you wind up watching it for like an hour, right? So it's better not to even have a TV in the first place. Also, while I post a lot of content on TikTok, I don't actually view other people's content on TikTok, except for very rarely, because again, it's a massive waste of time. If you are gonna watch, entertainment type of stuff, at least have it be something that's somewhat, gonna be relevant to your career, what you're trying to pursue. So for me, for example, I might watch some gym videos, which could be entertaining, but at the very least, they're kind of related to what I'm trying to do, right? Or YouTube algorithm videos. So I would say that's the other thing. And I think the last thing, and probably the most important thing that you could do, is really just be very consistent and honest with yourself. If you're not moving in the right direction, own it, admit it, and recalibrate. A lot of people are going down the wrong path, and don't have the self-awareness or can't check the ego enough to actually realize that. So again, make sure that you point yourself in the right direction and be very consistent, and that's going to be the main thing that's going to make a difference. It's not going to be some massive thing that you do or some book you read. It's going to be a combination of small things that you do over and over again. And if you do that, you will be ahead of the vast majority of men by 2024, because most men are not doing this. Most men are spending their whole day whacking off to OnlyFans chicks, watching TV, watching TikTok. They're wasting their time. They're not actually moving forward in their life. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable, and if you're serious about leveling up as a man, then make sure you smash the like button, hit subscribe, click the bell for notification, because on this channel, I will constantly give you guys massive amounts of value and no bullshit practical self-improvement and dating advice. Also, make sure to check out our brand new clips channel where you can find the highlights from our podcast and recent debates. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.